California, I think, has got more than 50 million people or something, has got letters. You see how smart they were. Because they wanted to overcome the issue of those territorial rivalries. So yes, the House of Representatives, but whatever the House of Representatives passes will not become law unless it is approved by the Forum of the States on equal basis. Very interesting. So even here, when we are talking about integration, because otherwise, if you mishandle integration, it can backfire. I think this is really both in your area and in my area. It is both an issue of strategy, but also an issue of legality. So in the integration, I would want to challenge the intellectuals, including the lawyers, which are the matters that should be for integration and which are the ones which should remain local. For instance, land. I don't think land should ever be a federal matter, because that will divert us, will cause unnecessary arguments. It should always remain either a state matter or even in our cases, it is a district matter. All these issues, you should think about them. What should be East African? What should remain country? What should go lower? Then you'll have people comfortable. Me, buy my beef, buy my bananas, integrating the market.
That was President Yoweri Museveni urging the East African Court to support regional integration.
It's authentic, credible, and direct from the actual source. From the horse's mouths, playing here on UBC Radio. From the horse's mouth,
Esther Chozira of National Union of Disabled Persons in Uganda breaks down the types of human disability.
Out there, many people get confused of who a person with disability is, and when we come to elections, everyone wants to become a political leader. They want to enter into the structures because they see there is space there. But to Uganda and the World Health Organization that normally tells us who a person with disability is, and according to our Persons with Disabilities Act of 2020, we have with hearing impairment. Those include persons that are deaf and those that are hard of hearing. Then we have persons with physical disabilities. These are people who have any challenges with their limbs. It could be one leg, one hand, maybe polio, accident, back, anything that is affecting the bones, we put it under physical disabilities. Then we have persons with mental disabilities. These are persons that have mental illness but are living on medication to manage their disability. We have people that have bipolar, we have people that have schizophrenia. All those are members of mental disability. Then we have persons that have epilepsy. Some people think this is a medical condition, but it was approved that epilepsy causes disability, and many of them fail to perform their daily activities because of the condition. Then we have persons with albinism. I think we are all aware of who an albino person is. These are persons who are born without melanin in their body, so it changes their color. And in the community there, they think maybe they are Bazungu, but these are just part of us. It's only that they are lacking that component in their body. Then we have persons with dwarfism. In the human rights language, we want to call them little persons. These are persons that have short stature. They are below a certain height. We normally say anyone who is 4 feet and below qualifies to be a little person. Not every short person is a little person, so we need to qualify that. Then we have persons that are deaf-blind. Someone has 2 impairments. They don't see. At the same time, they don't hear. Then we have other persons like persons with cerebral palsy. Those normally belong to different disabilities depending on how severe it is. Then we have persons with intellectual disabilities. These have persons that have autism, Down syndrome, and many other intellectual issues that can not be easily seen.
That was Esther Chozira of National Union of Disabled Persons in Uganda, breaking down the types of human disability.
it's authentic, credible, and direct from the actual source. From the horse's mouths, playing here on UBC Radio.
BDM.
Are you a Ugandan earning below 1 million shillings per year? Government of Uganda is strategically putting PDM for you to get you out of poverty. PDM is an initiative of the Government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform the lives of all Ugandans for better.
Get to know more about PDM in your parish by tuning in. We bring you experts to explain, clarify, educate, and interact with you on how to benefit from PDM.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life. UBC Radios, inspiring Uganda. PDM.
Uganda, I welcome you this afternoon. It's exactly 9 minutes past the hour of 3. My name is Ivan Tumukonde. Welcome to the Young and Smart Pro, a platform for the young people to contribute to Uganda's development. Welcome to the show. And today, as young people, we are celebrating, and as a whole country, the whole world, we are celebrating the International Youth Day. Is there something to celebrate? That is what we're going to be looking through this afternoon and be part of this conversation. Remember, Central Uganda, call it Kampala, or in Lira, we are on 97.4 in Arua. And you can also be part of this conversation by sending us a message on 077 65 1142 0776 511 426. Tell us if you think it's relevant actually to celebrate the International Youth Day, and you yourself, what are you celebrating and how are you celebrating this day? The theme this year is accelerated recovery from COVID-19 and full implementation of the 2030 agenda. And we are basically looking at the role of the youth. The international theme is focused on green, and it's the green skills for youth towards a sustainable world. Be able to comment on both the themes and tell us what your view is. In the studio today, I have vibrant young people who are going to be helping me to be able to have this discussion. And right seated next to me, putting on a green. Sometimes they say yellow inside and green outside. I don't know, but she's put on a green top and a black dress, looking so elegant. Zion, welcome to Young.
Ivan for hosting us, and thank you for really important day that us young people should come here and speak to our fellow young people out there. I appreciate all the work that you're doing for the young people. I normally listen to your programs hosting young people all over, and I'm really so much.
Thank you so much. And the other side, Moivesa, kindly say hello to the listener.
And thank you, our dear listeners, for tuning in and listening to our brilliant ideas. And we are track that you can share your own, such that we can make this country a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Moivesa. And next to Moivesa.
Thank you, Ivan, and thank you for hosting us. And to our listeners, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope to get the best out of it.
Thank you. And putting on yellow with some black, Nimrod, welcome to Young and Smart program.
Thank you, Ivan. It is always a good thing to be here to share our views, and it's a wonderful day. Out there, it is bright. It is very good to be here and doing all this and then.
International Youth Day. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you?
Thank you. Just to give you a brief background of this wonderful day. Around 1998, the Commonwealth countries with ministries of the young people or the youth ministries came together and sat, and they agreed that we must have a day whereby young people are celebrated, because the world going very fast, and we felt that young people are patient. The UN adopted this day of 12th August as a special day to celebrate the young people during the General Assembly, and it was first celebrated in 2000, whereby different countries chose to differ. Special is that in that same year, 2000, this country with the NRM government chose to adopt what we call the National Youth Policy. And it was from that year that they chose to have youth as a special interest group. And from that, they have tried to have a number of activities or programs that are intended to empower the young people of this country. So to me, basically, that's the whole point of this day. But the most important thing is not about the day. It's about what we do on such days. The world over now is coming together to celebrate this day. It is believed with some statisticians that this same day, it must come out to point out the issues that affect us, mostly the population of the young people. Different countries have young people differentiate in different ages, but basically in Uganda, we know that the youth is from 18 to 30 years. Believe that the population of the young people in this country today stands at around 75, but basically the youth, to be clear, are around 15% of the entire population. So to me, International Youth Day is a very wonderful day, a day that could come together to remind ourselves of the role of the young people in social transformation of our country, basically Uganda. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nimrod. Coming to you, Dorothy, what does the International Youth Day mean to you?
To me as a person, this is a special day for us as the youth, as we are expected to advance in different situations that we are going through as the youth, to express our challenges and different things that we, the youth, we are passing through.
Okay, thank you so much. And Mwebesa?
Yes, thank you so much. Well, I think the International Youth Day is a day to assess ourselves as a youth of this nation, to see how far have we gone in what we intend to achieve. And then it's a day to reflect on our inner abilities as a youth of this nation, to see how best we can better what we are doing as a youth. It's a day that we can pose questions to ourselves that if we have achieved something, then the skies are no longer the limits for us as a youth. So it goes back to us to reflect on our abilities collectively as a nation and as the youth of this nation, to take the mantle upon ourselves to constructively contribute something to this nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mwebesa. And Zion?
Thank you so much. For me, I believe that the International Youth Day is the day that the young people are supposed to use to sit down, reflect, and evaluate on our abilities, on our capacities, and hold accountable our leaders and ourselves on our well-being, on how best we think we should be led, on how best we think we can contribute towards the well-being of our societies and our country at large. I believe that this is the day that we should cause awareness about our challenges and look forward for solutions to our challenges, and also look at how best we can make our numbers count, because as young people we shout about being the majority, but the productivity of the majority numbers that we have is something that we are on paper looking at. So it is a day that we should use to reflect on all these.
Thank you so much. Why is it important for us to celebrate the International Youth Day?
Oh yeah, it is extremely important. World over, there are different groups of mankind. And what makes it different is that young people all over the world is a group of very robust, energetic, and enthusiastic people, or humankind, of whole group of humankind. Why is it important to celebrate this day? When you look at this year's theme of the international celebrations, it talks about having the green skills, for a sustainable world. And when you get back to Uganda today, the theme of this year, it talks about how the role of the young people in achieving the vision of 2040. When you look at 2040 of this country, you look at how we can transform a peasantry society into a modern economy or into a modern society. And what is the role of young people here? That's the reason why we should celebrate this day. It should bring us together, regardless of your tribe, regardless of your color, regardless of your level of education, regardless of your height, to come together and bring our views and table them and hold our leaders of the young people accountable. Let me give you an example to you, Ivan, and the listeners. In this country, the current government has done a number of programs that are intended to empower the young people. To mention Myoga, Youth Livelihood Fund, now PDM, a number of them. The question now why we should celebrate this day is to come and evaluate how these programs achieved their intended purpose when it comes to the young people. I come from a very interesting district called Inamisindwa district, far east of this country. And in Inamisindwa, as I grew up as a young man, I didn't know about some of the things that I know today, mostly about the youth organs of this country, the National Youth Council, different leagues, the youth parliament, all groups that do advocacy of the young people, and realize that this is time to go back and we tell the young people from different districts of this country that please, as you're seated here, there's something done. Can you hold your leaders accountable on this and that? So why should we celebrate this day? Basically, it's because it is a special day for us to sit and think about these programs that are intended to empower the young people. Are they practical enough? Are they doing what is supposed to be done? Secondly, it is a day to ask our leaders, what are they doing about this in terms of advocacy, in terms of skilling of the young people? Let me give you a practical example here. Bugisu sub-region has a presidential skilling hub. And this skilling hub of the president, it's located in Bali. But what is more interesting is the enrollment there. It is way below the actual number that are needed in a cohort. And the young leaders all over the 8 districts of Bugisu sub-region, I'm using Bugisu as a pilot here. And the role of the leaders there is to go and mobilize the young people to go and enroll. I mean, where I come from, I know that the school dropout is extremely high. But there are young people from there who can go ahead and enroll in these presidential skilling hubs where they don't need any money. They just need to present themselves there.
What are organizations like the National Youth Council doing? Because I thought that should be one of the works that they are doing, do sensitization, let these young people know that actually there are opportunities of a kind.
Yeah, I think that question, I think someone like Chiyeru or Kidega, they have the best answer for that. What are they doing? I mean, but also before we blame the neck, there's a district committee, there's a sub-county NYC committee. But my practical experience is simple. There is a very serious, there is the national level, they have detached themselves from the grassroots.
And you're the same people that go and vote them back into power.
Oh, yeah. I want to assure you this, that you see, there is a blessing why we are here today. We are going to remind young people all over this country that it is your role to hold this accountable. And that's the reason why we're celebrating actually this day. It's to tell them that please don't vote these leaders again. Because if you have leaders who are not going to help and transform society, then they are not supposed to be leaders. I mean, the only reason why someone should be a leader all over this world is basically to serve the people and transform their well-being. It pains me when I see young people who are ignorant about things that matter to them more, who are embracing things because of the information gap. They end up being misled and engaging in things that they are not supposed to do when they have a chance to actually participate in positive transformation of their society. So I conclude, I think it is important that we use such days to go back to our roots, leaders from all levels, to go back to our roots and preach about what is important and how can we help this population. This population we are talking about as the Youth Day, as I said in my opening remarks, they're only 15% of the entire population.
And you see, we usually look at the general, percentage of the young people, which is over 78.
Yeah.
And we take it to be the one for the youth.
Yeah. So my argument is that now this 15%, the biggest challenge they have is not actually them, is the 50% that is behind them. These two children that are below 18 years. They are dependables to this 15%. Now, it's the role of the 15% to create a world that is more sustainable for the 50% that is below 18 years. Now, as a leader or as a youth who is listening in today, ask yourself, what are you doing to help the 50% that is behind us? So, as we said, it's a day of reflection. Think about, if you're a national leader, do you think you are sitting in that position to transform society, or you're enjoying the enmity that come with that position? Also, as a leader, when you go back and you see your village, how it is looking, do you be happy? Think about that. So as we celebrate this day entirely, it is about us reflecting and going back to our roots and reminding our people that, look, we have a duty to play in transforming our country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nimrod. Coming from KCCA and as the wing for the young people, representing the young people, as we celebrate this day, what are those challenges that the young people you're leading do face? And as the council, what are you doing to be able to make sure that those challenges are actually solved?
First, with the youth, we are facing a challenge of the budget that they decreased from the national level, that is 4.4, whereby these people, or the NEC members, who have the mandate to come on ground to help us go to the youth and see the different things that we have to do as the youth. But here comes a scenario that even the 4.5 billion that they take to help us achieving all our goals stops at the national level. This is the day that we, the young youth, have to come together and share different views and ideas amongst the youth and see where the challenges are and solve some that can be solved, but it's once in a year. To me, meeting our chairperson of the national, it's a difficult thing apart from going to different, as in the allocated place, just like this time round, it's in Kabale, right? Yeah, that's when we are going to meet the national chairperson. But since then, since last year, we haven't yet met the chairperson of the National Youth Council.
So if you lamenting that you can't actually access the chairperson of the National Council, how about the young people down in the villages that are being led by this organization?
As like the committees at the district, it's very difficult to go down to the grassroots. Reason being, we lack the funds to go down, and those that have the capacity to go down, you cannot reach to each and every zone. Like in Kampala, we are having over 6,000 zones, whereby you don't have the mandate to reach into those zones.
So where does the budget that they give the council go to?
Now in Kampala, we have a challenge. If you go to KCCA, we don't belong there. If you go to the local council, we also don't belong there. So that is the main challenge that we face as the youth leaders of Kampala.
How are you established?
Under NYC, we are recognized. That's how we came to be voted from the grassroots to where we are.
So then you know where we're going to local government if you are established within the National Youth Council.
That is the problem because everyone denies us in Kampala.
Wow. Okay. You, Mwewesa, what is your view in as far as the young people in Uganda are concerned? How do you think we can engage the young people more in the development of this country and in all aspects? If you see a leader, she's the minister for sports and culture. Yes. And she's here lamenting that she cannot be able to access the chairperson of the National Youth Council. So how do you think we're going to be able to engage the young people from the communities where we come from to be part of the development of this country, but also looking at the big numbers, the percentage of the young people that we have, if they are not engaged in each and every aspect of developing this country, how are we going to develop?
Thank you so much for that question. But I do think to some extent the young people have been engaged. But then it is not enough. We need to note that the future of Uganda is in the hands of young people. If we don't sensitize or teach these young people to do what is right, then Uganda is not going to get to a better place that we wish to see it. Let me paint this image. If we raise the young people currently, for example, and they are corrupt, that means that even 40 years from today, Uganda is still going to be corrupt. So how are we going to engage the young people such that this country can be changed? First and foremost, we need to change the notion of the young people so much sidelining with what is against the government. The young people need to first take it on themselves, organize themselves to support most of these initiatives that are put in place for them. That is the first engagement that we need. Then secondly, we need mostly to focus on not only giving these people the theoretical knowledge, but equipping them with the practical knowledge that they need. It is actually so absurd and really worrying. The fact that someone goes to school for 25 years and that even a campus, so from us. And this is the lot that we need to be told. No institution in Uganda that teaches the young people to accept that paid employment may not get you to the farthest that you wish to go. So we as a nation need to focus on how best to reach to the young people. Not only focusing, because not that it is the leaders of the young people that benefit the most, because these programs come and the leaders tap these opportunities, and so many are left back there. So content. So many leaders up here are contented, but the young people back there are left out. And the biggest and most important thing that we need as a nation is to focus on mindset change. Many countries that have progressed first focused on what is given to the young people. There are so many countries today where media platforms are restricted to some things for the young people. That now puts them in a better place, because what do you consume in the first place? So if we so much focus on what is being taught to these people, what knowledge is given to these people, and so much put in place initiatives that are funded and supported, then we will have the young people on board, and this nation will definitely be a better place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mwewesa. Zion, What is the Uganda Young Democrats, UID, doing to empower the young people of Uganda to actually help them realize their potential? But also, how are you celebrating the International Youth Day?
Oh, thank you so much. First of all, I am celebrating it here. I am already here talking to the young people.
You as
And we have
UID.
already agreed that one of the ways we shall have to change our societies is a mindset change, talking to our people about mindset change. But also, we've been doing this through universities. We've been conducting university lectures, public lectures, talking to our young people